Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. For today's video I'm going to be doing a bridal Chucky set of nails. This was requested by one of my beautiful subscribers, Hayley, so thank you so much Hayley for suggesting I do this set. I have actually done a set of Chucky nails before. I thought it was last year, but when I was looking back through all my photos I realised it's actually 2 years ago now. I did do a video, I will leave that linked in the description box if you'd like to watch that. They weren't the greatest, I suppose they were okay, but they weren't the greatest. I can definitely say I have improved since then. But that particular set was really colourful, so I thought I'd switch up a bit with this set, and I found a picture online that's like the front cover of the Bride of Chucky film. It's like black and white and the only colour on it is their eyes, so I decided that was what I was going to use as like my reference for the set of nails, I suppose. So that will be what I'm painting. I'll be painting Tiffany on the ring finger and Chucky on the middle finger. I've gone in with the Water One's grey. It's a very pale grey. It just kind of sort of matched the front cover of the film. I didn't want to use white because it felt too bright and there's a lot of shading and stuff, so I thought grey would be a better option. I'm then going in with the Akikai black and I'm trying to paint Tiffany. Fun fact, this set actually took me 2 attempts. I painted Tiffany, I decided I didn't like it, so I started from scratch. I repainted her, was happy with her, so I moved on to Chucky, painted Chucky, and then decided I didn't like that either. Ended up restarting it from scratch, and likewise with the other 2 nails. It took me quite a while to paint a set of nails, and I almost gave up because it just was not going my way, but I'm actually quite happy with the results in the end. With this set, because it's mainly black and white, there's a lot of shading. Shading is very important. On the front cover of the video, it has got a lot of shadows, so it did mean I needed to do a lot of shading to make it look okay, which is really hard when you're doing it with nail polish. I just sort of left like bare minimal paint on my brush and just sort of kept trying to smudge it out to make it look like shading. This was where my struggles were with this set because it was just really difficult. I tried using like an old school eyeshadow applicator just to kind of help soften it up and like smudge it out a little bit. It was really tough and just really wasn't going my way. I got there in the end. It wasn't perfect. Shading on nail art is really difficult. But I went in then with the Akikai white. I'm using this to do the eyes and the teeth on both Tiffany and Chucky. And then I decided I wanted to make this set somewhat glow in the dark. I have a Saviland green gel polish and a Saviland blue gel polish that are both luminous, so I thought they would be great to do both of the eyes. The set didn't quite turn out as glowy as I sort of hoped it would. It was okay, but I didn't really know what else to sort of make glow in the dark, so it weren't that glowy, but it's just a cool little extra feature on this set. I then used my dotting tool to do the black on the inner eye and also white on the inner eye, just because obviously they're dolls, they have that sort of glare to their eye. So I was literally just trying to copy the images off the front cover as precisely as I possibly could. It is really difficult when you're working with a small canvas and getting those proportions correct, and just, I hate noses, I really hate painting noses. Eyes aren't so bad and like eyebrows are okay, but getting those proportions to look right and trying to copy a character exact with all the right crease lines, all the right shading. There's just so many different elements that can be quite tricky to paint. I always use my Akikai detailer brush. I will start linking my favourite products down in the description box. This brush I will leave linked to my description box because this is the brush I use every single time I do freehand. I've had this brush for maybe 2 years or coming close to 2 years now, and I won't go for any other brush. This brush is so affordable. I literally paid £1.47 for it from AliExpress, and it's the best brush. Quite a few of the girls have now got this brush too, and they agree it is a really incredible brush. It's got literally like subtle hairs on it. It's really thin, which makes it really pleasant to do freehand work with because you're not getting it all thick and bulky, because most detailer brushes are quite thick and it's really hard to sort of get those thin lines and those really small details. This brush has just really made it a lot easier to do freehand. If you're struggling with freehand, I definitely would recommend this brush, and you'll find it really helps. It's just really up to my game with my freehand nail art. But as you can see here, I'm now smudging out the black gel polish again a bit just to try and make it blend. It was really hard to make it blend. I think once I add the matte top coat to the whole entire nail, it just sort of softens it all, makes it look much better. but I did really struggle with the sort of shadows and that lot, so it does look a little bit messy, but I think the end results are okay. I'm using a UMIC matte top coat. It's one of my favourite matte top coats. The only thing I don't like about this top coat is the brush. The brush can be a bit thick, but otherwise I quite like it. It's one of my favourite top coats. And yeah, that is the end results of Tiffany. As you can see, I put a little comparison picture up so you can see the front cover versus what I've painted. Yes, I know it's not bang on, but I did try. I really did try. So I'll move on to the middle finger where I'm painting Chucky. I just sort of tend to do like rough outlines of where I want everything to be, and I'll go on later on and just sort of tidy it up a bit, neaten it up, try and make those lines look a little bit more sharp. Luckily with a set like this, because of the shadows that look, it doesn't really need to look neat. I feel like it looks more realistic if it's not perfect, because you know, no one's face is perfect, and I just feel like it doesn't really matter too much. If it's really sharp and completely precise, it's not going to look realistic. So I suppose it's one benefit of doing a set like this, but I do neaten it up a little bit anyway. As you can see here, Chucky's nose really just did not go very well at all. It was tough. My first attempt at this nail was absolutely horrifying. It looked nothing like Chucky, and it is the biggest mess ever. Whereas this attempt, I feel like he really does resemble Chucky. I feel like if you didn't know it was Chucky, you could look at it and sort of know it was Chucky, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't really need to tell you that it's Chucky. I feel like if you know Chucky, you'd recognise it's Chucky, which I'm pretty happy with. It was just that nose really bothered me, but I feel like it comes together really well. As you can see, he's got a lot of cracks and stuff all over his face in this movie, so I'm just sort of trying to recreate those in the exact way that they are on the front cover. Using the black from Akikai again, and just sort of trying to smudge it out a bit and soften it up in areas where it's sort of more like shadows on the front cover. The only problem with this nail is I feel like his forehead was a bit big as well. Maybe my proportions are just quite, it's really hard to get correct proportions when you're painting a character off an image that you're looking at onto a nail, especially nails that are so small. Obviously it's a very small canvas to work on. I feel like if I was doing it on a pen and paper, well, with pencil and paper, it would probably come out a lot better. I do really enjoy drawing. I have done ever since I was a kid. I've always been quite artistic in that sense, and yeah, I feel like I probably could draw them better than what I can paint them, because obviously it is such a small little canvas. Someone actually commented on my previous video saying about how it's a small canvas and how tricky it is to sort of paint on a small canvas, which it is. I have actually been using the extra long nail tips from Sparkle Supplies instead of the standard ones I used to use. I've started using these extra long ones when I'm doing freehand nail art, just because it does give you that little bit more room to paint on rather than trying to squeeze it onto like an extra small space. That's why I don't really tend to do a lot of short nails, because trying to do freehand nail art like this on really tiny nails is going to be difficult. It's doable, but really difficult, so I prefer to sort of try and paint all my freehand nail art on longer tips without them being too long. So I'm not one for really long nails. This is pretty much like the maximum length I would go for, and that's only on my hand. I don't think I'd go on this length on my own nails. But I really like these tips. They're really affordable from Sparkle Supplies. I think, I can't remember how many you get in a packet actually, but they've lasted me quite a while now. They're just full cover tips and I really like them, really good quality. They're not really thin and flimsy or anything. I highly recommend them. I will also link them in my description box if you'd like to get those. I also have a discount code for Sparkle Supplies as well. If you would like to use that, I'll get you 15% off all of your orders. That is in the description box of every single one of my videos. I absolutely love Sparkle Supplies, highly recommend all of her products, they're all so nice. But as you can see now, I'm sort of painting like the cracks and stitches on Chucky's face. And this is also what I'll be doing on the final two nails, it's just sort of the stitches again but bigger. But yeah, I think Chucky came out pretty well. I think he did definitely come out pretty well, I'm quite happy with him. But yeah, on the final two nails, I'm just doing a full coat of black all over both. I will then cure them, give them another coat, cure that again for 30 seconds, and then I'll matte top coat it because I prefer working on a matte base because otherwise my light reflects on the glossy top coat and it makes it really hard for me to see what I'm doing. So I always mattify my base, or I'll glossy top coat it and then buff off the shine and then paint on top of that. But I don't like painting on a shiny surface because it just, the light reflects off and it does make it that little bit more difficult to see what you're doing. I decided to do stitches on this nail just because it was simple. I felt like there was quite a lot going on already. The Tiffany and Chucky nail, I didn't want the set to look too busy because it's kind of hard to not make it look busy with this sort of art. So I thought I'd just do something really simplistic on the other two nails, so I just decided to go with the stitches. I did use the Sabilan gel polishes again over the top of the white here. I just put the white on underneath because otherwise the Sabilan polishes wouldn't have really shown up at all over the black, so I just put the white on underneath just to make that colour pop a bit more. They are quite sheer gel polishes, these ones from Saviland anyway. They're really nice but they are a little bit sheer, so I really did need that white on underneath. They still look a little bit like the colours aren't really popping, but I didn't necessarily want that anyway. The green is really nice, but the blue is such a pale blue that it doesn't really show up too well, but that's fine. Like I said, I wanted this set to be quite dull, simplistic, not too busy, and just sort of black and white themed really. I didn't really want loads of colour like my previous Chucky set that I'd done. But yeah, I just go in like this. I cure everything, like each colour I do I'll cure for 30 seconds in between before adding another colour. Just make sure it's sealed in, and obviously like you need to cure it or else it's just going to blend all funny anyway. But I'm just going over those white lines with a bit of the colour from Sabilan just because I wanted that glow in the dark effect. I'll cure that for 30 seconds, wipe it down with some IPA and then give it a top coat with the matte top coat. Cure that for a minute and then the set is done, and that is the finished results. They are a little bit messy, I know, but I feel like they look okay. They're definitely better than my previous Chucky nails that I did. It's really hard painting characters like that, and this is what they look like glow in the dark. Like, they didn't glow very well, and it's kind of hard to show you on camera because my camera just goes straight out of focus. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video anyway. Sorry, I'm not the best at giving voiceover tutorials at all, I know. But yeah, anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Happy Halloween!